All right, so the first thing that we have to talk about is coiling without swaying. And so how you turn your torso is you're actually tilting your head towards the target, as you saw. I'm going to show you this in a second. I'll demonstrate first. So watch this. So out there in the world of golf, we got the look at this. Wait, let's go back to Google. Here we go. Head still. Golf training aid. Watch this. If you search this, look what comes up. Look at this guy. See what he's doing? You see this? It's kind of funny, huh? Like, what's he doing? No, it's smart. Look, watch this. Ryan Moore. Watch this. Ryan Moore putting at home. Watch this. Look what he's doing at home here. And that's him with the trophy. And then look, there's the trophy that he won in the picture. And there he is practicing at home, right? There's this thing called the Megsa Golf Training System that I learned about years ago. See this guy here? See how there's something right next to his head? See how this guy has a few things there too, right? Look at this. Having something there can help you with feeling where your head's at and what's happening in your swing. And basically what's happening to you, let me demonstrate first here. What's happening to you is your head is actually going, like if I were to try to like do without my arms, your head's going like this over to here. You see how I've moved my head to the left, right? Or toward the target. And so basically what we're supposed to be doing instead is when you coil, you're supposed to coil like this, where see how my back is to the target and I turn my shoulders 90 degrees. Right, look. And then notice when I'm doing that, what's happening is my hip is coming around. For example, watch this. Because it's kind of important to understand how the sequencing of the coil basically happens. And so this helps you see it, how basically my shoulders are going to start turning and my hips haven't moved yet. And then look, and then my hips come around to help me turn my shoulders further. You see how that works? Yeah. All while I'm on the balls of my feet and my head's still here, right? And so then if you can imagine when the hands and arms are out, it's that same concept where the shoulders go first and then the hips come around like this. You see? Okay. So first I'd like you to set up with your club across your shoulders, and if you would place your head on the noodle stand, getting your golf set up, okay? And then do your shoulders first and then your hip around to coil properly. Yeah, exactly. Nice. You get it. Good job. Okay, so let's look at what you did here a second. Okay, and so there's all kinds of golfers out there practicing their coil. I know that's an interesting topic. It's like a new thing maybe. But people, I was at the range yesterday next to two LPGA players from like Japan or China or Korea or somewhere far away that didn't speak English, but they were good golfers. And the first thing the girl did, she practiced her coil. You know, she set up and was rehearsing how she's going to move her body, her big muscles. There was a time I did that all the time years ago, like probably for a 5-year period. I still do it now and then. You could say probably, but it's pretty natural for me at this point because I did it so many times. You know what I mean? But if anything went wrong ever, I would check my coil again and do this. And so let's take a look at this. So look, you're here, okay? And then look, that's a correct coil. And look, you're 50-50. You see that? And then look, you're on the balls of your feet also. Like you're on a balance beam, right? Think about it. If you were on a balance beam, when I get this balance beam, probably next month or this summer, I don't know, I decided. Perfect, yeah. Get on it and swing. Yeah. You'll see pretty quickly that you have to be on the ball of your foot. At most, the back of the front of the arch / ball. Yeah. You know, like that's the spot you're going to be. Yeah. You're not going to be on your toes. You'll fall forward. You're not going to be on your heels. You'll fall, on your toes, you'll fall back. On your heels, you'll fall forward. And then if you're on the arch fully, you don't really have balance. There's no balance just on the arch. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like settle into it. Yeah, you got to figure out. I move my feet a little bit. And figure out like where's your. Yeah, for me, it's I grew up surfing and snowboarding and skateboarding, and so to me that's the position. It's that athletic balance position. And then look at this. Look, you practice turning, and where's your head? Right where it should be. And then if the club and the arms were here, then you would be exactly where you're supposed to be in your backswing. So basically this week you have to practice your coil to work on coiling correctly. The other way I've done it over the years is I find a wall or something, even a golf cart. At times I would do this with a golf cart where I would set my head against something and again practice turning to feel what it feels like to turn without moving my head. You see? Yeah. Okay. So here, try that if you would. Just throw your head on the wall, and then turn your back to the target. Get the hips to follow the shoulders first, and then the hip comes around. You see that? You feel it?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid my leg locking out though. So does that mean I have to?
So good question. So your hips, you're trying to generally keep knee flex like you're on a like something bumpy or like a boat, like you're whoa, I don't want to fall. Sure. Like you got some knee flex like that, but then what happens is the shoulders pull the hip and the knee around, and so the knees are actually kind of moving this way also. You see how everything comes around? Yeah. And if there's a little bit of knee flex change, as long as you don't go up and down, you're maybe okay. Okay. Now, next step is this, right? Look, I'll do it first, right? Is I want you to set up here, okay? Head on the noodle, right? Get set, right? And then make a backswing. Once you're ready, make a backswing where you stay there and just show me the correct backswing. Are you with me? Yeah. And listen to this. I have one student, Mateo. He's done this in his backyard for like a year, and now he's a 2 handicap. And then this other guy, Gary, does it in his flip-flops in his backyard. And, let's see, there's another Jim, he set up a noodle on his fence. Listen to this. I had a guy take a ladder, a broom handle, duct tape for a noodle stand. But, like, be creative. Like, you have to. Oh, you have it. I forgot. Yeah. Perfect. So you can do it. Nice. All right, so this is what you're going to do with it. That's great. All right, here we go. Turn your back to the target. Yeah. No, stay looking where the ball is, though, right? Like, it's like a real shot kind of thing. Is the noodle too high, or is it okay there?
I think it's all right.
All right. Okay. You think it's slightly too high? I think it's slightly too high. Let me just go down just a smidge. There. That's probably better. Okay. So, again, correct coil. Yep. Okay, good. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, like, let's get you really good at golf. You know? That's what I like to do. I like to get everyone better at golf. It's crazy, but like you can get really good if you do the right form. I got cut from all my sports teams in high school, except for wrestling because you cut yourself. And I became a pro golfer, right? And playing in pro tournaments. And it's like all because of video lessons that I took and working on my form. And if you improve your form, you'll play better at golf, you know? And so that's why they say, like, when players do really well, they're like, he was in good form that week because they did the right stuff. Look at this, 50-50 on the balance. Good job. And then look where your head is and look where your hip is. And watch this. What's more important is your spine angle is now going to stay the same while you're coiling. And so basically you're rotating around this axis on the way back. And it's not just your torso, it's your hips are turning, as you know, and your knee is also going around to coil. Okay. Let me send that to you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree. And you're on what's great is you're on the balls of your feet. Look over here, which is what you're supposed to be doing. Yep. And you're 50-50. And see, here's what you have to realize. You have to make that backswing, then perform the downswing. Your backswing and downswing are kind of getting mixed together right now. And that's why you're ending up where you're ending up, in my opinion. So, like, if we go and look at, like, normally what you do in your backswing, and we put the lines on you. So when this is happening, you have to think of it as like doing your backswing and then doing your downswing. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and you got it, because look, this is what was happening. Here's your spine angle like this. And then when you normally go back, you're going like this, which is called tilting your spine instead of turning it, instead of rotating around the axis.